Hello and welcome everyone. In this session, we're going to talk about the AAT practicing license. So if you are AAT qualified, or if you are at least qualified for the bookkeeping, so you can apply for the license and you can start providing the services to your client. For example, you can provide the bookkeeping services, you can provide the VAT or payroll services to your client. Now, the few important things that you have to remember before you apply for the license, that is how you like to offer the services to your client. For example, if you have decided you like to provide the services as a sole trader or as a self-employed, there is no restriction for that. You need to apply for the UTR number and you have to register yourself as a sole trader or as a self-employed. So you have to have your UTR number. If you like to provide the services as a limited company, absolutely fine. You have to open your limited company. Now, a few things is important. Either you are a sole trader or self-employed or the limited company, you have to have few things. The first thing, as a director, you have to have your DBS. So when you apply for the DBS check, you need to remember you just apply for the standard DBS check, that is basic DBS check. You really don't have to apply for the enhanced DBS. I have seen so many students, they email me what type of DBS I need, or sometimes they don't know, they just apply for the wrong one. Remember that you need the basic DBS. The next one is you need to have your professional indemnity insurance. Now, I recommend to get it from Hiscox. Hiscox is very good, and there is no contract. You can cancel anytime, and you have to have a £250,000 professional indemnity insurance, and based on your turnover, based on number of employee, they will give you a quotation. And of course, like, you have to pay roughly, I would say, 15 to 20 pound a month if you just starting off your business. The next thing you need, someone need to cover your business. So we called it continuous services after something happened to the director or the key person. For example, if you start providing the services to your client, and if you are sick, or if you are resign from the work, or if you move to somewhere else, so who's going to look after this client? So you have to have someone who can provide the services to your existing client. The next one is ICO, that is Information Commission Officer. So you have to have a registration with the ICO. Now, what is ICO? ICO is all about the data protection. So when you have a data, you have to make sure you register your company with the ICO. Now, it is possible maybe you are exempted if you start providing services as a sole trader. Maybe you don't hold the employee data at the beginning. Maybe you don't have to do it at the beginning, but later on when you start handling the personal data, then you have to register with the ICO. And finally, all you have to do, you have to make sure you have your anti-money laundering supervisor. Now, this is very important. Try to understand it. If you are qualified from the AAT, then AAT can be your supervisor for the anti-money laundering. For that reason, you have to have a anti-money laundering certificate from the AAT. Remember that without having anti-money laundering supervision, you cannot apply to HMRC for the agent ID. So first, you need to apply for your practicing license, and once you have your practicing license, then you can request AAT for the anti-money laundering certificate, and once you have it, then actually you can send it to HMRC for your agent ID. Without that, HMRC will not allow you the agent ID. Also, it is important to understand, if AAT is not your supervisor, you can choose HMRC as your anti-money laundering supervisor, or if you are qualified from any other professional body, they can be your supervisor as well. So once you have all of this thing, you are ready to apply online, and once you apply, they'll ask you a few questions. You have to answer all of these things, especially like, where did you work, do you have enough experience to provide the services to your client, and you need to make sure you have some reference who is, for example, the qualified person who can give you the reference. Did you work there, what type of work? You have to mention that. Also, you have to say, do you have any CCJ, for example, any outstanding debt or any county court judgment? You have to mention during the application. And after that, finally you pay the fee and submit the application, and then AAT will reply you within 10 working days, and they will tell you, like, if they need anything else, they'll tell you. And after that, they will give you some test. We call it diagnostics test, and you need to do one test for the ethics, one test for the money laundering. Then you will be done with your practicing license requirement, and they'll send you the practicing license, and they'll send you the anti-money laundering supervision certificate. And then you can apply to HMRC for the agent ID, and you need to make sure you send this money laundering certificate to HMRC with your agent application. And one thing you need to understand, that you really don't have to fully qualified to start providing services to your client. So for example, if you finish your level 2 as a bookkeeper or level 3 with the bookkeeping, you can start providing the basic services to your client. For example, you can provide a different service to your client, so you can have a look. So here, if you look, we have a list of services. You can see the client need. So for example, if you are just a bookkeeper, you can provide bookkeeping services. You can provide the financial accounts for the sole trader and for the partnership. You can provide the services for the VAT and the computerized accountancy system and the payroll. So this is the basic need for the client. Client need this information. So obviously you can start providing these services. And later on, when you'll be qualified, fully qualified, or if you are MAT certified, then you can apply for the AAT license accountant. And obviously if you apply for the AAT license accountant, then you'll be able to provide 18 services to the client. So you can do everything except the auditing. And of course, like normally the client come to you, they will not be under the threshold of the auditing, because to provide the auditing services or required by the law for auditing, the client has to have a certain amount of turnover, for example 10.2 million, 10.5 million. So at the beginning you might not get this type of client. So you need to make sure like you understand the whole process. You really don't have to wait until you finish your AAT. You can start providing services to your client at the beginning when you finish your level 2. All you have to do, you have to know the work, and you have to get your practicing license, and let your client know you can provide the services. Once you know the work, how to do the bookkeeping, how to do the payroll and VAT, that's it. You can go ahead with that. So this is all you have to know to be an accountant and provide services to the client. And of course, like if you need any more information, you can always email me. I'll try to help you if I can. For the time being, you need to just focus a few things, that what type of services you need to provide your client. So the client normally need 5 basic services, and if you're a bookkeeper, you can provide 4, and only the licensed accountant, they are allowed to provide the statutory accounts, the financial account. So even during your study process, you can start providing the services to your client. You can get more experience, you'll learn more work, and later on when you'll be full qualified, then you can provide all the services, for example the capital gain tax, inheritance tax, and any other services, for example assurance engagement. So that's all you need to know before you apply for the AAT practicing license. Thank you very much.